I'd like to thank you all for coming to hear my talk. Here I have a picture. I'm going to turn off this light. I think it'll be better. Just tap it. Okay. Here's a picture of our solar system. Looking at that, you see planet Earth. I have a question. What there, looking at it, what makes it unique? What do you see that's unique about planet Earth? The color, okay. So it's blue. So what about it? So that's exactly what I wanted you guys to identify. What makes it blue? Why is it different than all the other ones?
It has water.
Great, thanks a lot. So basically, what I'm going to be talking to you about water. I feel that water is the most essential. It's the thing about Earth that makes everything possible, life. So some facts about water. The same water that we have today existed millennia ago. From the beginning of Earth, we had water. And but the thing is, fresh water only covers about 3% of our planet. So most of that blue stuff is salt water. It's not available for us to use for drinking. And of that fresh water, most of it is in ice. It's locked up in glaciers, polar ice caps, that kind of thing. And even of all the water that's in the ice, all the fresh water, only 1% of that is accessible to us. A lot of it is deep within the ground. We can't get to it, and it's frozen in the polar ice caps. So really, 1% of the 3% of all the water in the world is actually available for human use. So that's how much water there is in the world. But water is part of us so much too. We're all water creatures. It makes up 60% of our body. And more than that, 70% of your brain consists of water. And 80% of your blood. And how important is water for your survival? Well, you can go about a month without food, but you couldn't go without 1 week without water. So these are just some things to put into perspective, how much water there is in the world and how important it is for our life. So, what about our water usage? Now, of all the water that enters our home, 1/4 of it goes to flushing the toilet. So, it's just an indication of how 1/4 of all the water goes to flushing our toilet. And the thing is, it's so essential for our sustenance. Why is so much going not into our body, but for other reasons? The moral of the story is our water sources are under pressure. They're under serious pressure. We have a limited amount of water in the world. We need it for our own sustenance, and we're running out. In the 20th century, the world's population tripled, but our water consumption grew a lot more. It grew 6 times. Now, while the average American uses 160 gallons of water per year, not per year, per week, this is not equally distributed. Although the world's population has increased so much and the water consumption has increased, there's a great disparity in how much water is used by people around the world. Millions of people live on less than 3 gallons a day, compared to 160 what the Americans live on per day. And if you think that there's a lot of people displaced because of war, a lot of refugees due to war, there's a lot more refugees because of water scarcity. So people have to leave their homes, the places where families grew up for centuries, because there's just no water left. 1 in 3 people lack the basic access to adequate sanitation. And related to that, because they don't have basic sanitation, it's so hard for them to come across clean drinking water. And a pretty significant fact is that the UN says that every 15 seconds a person dies or a child dies of a waterborne related disease. So by far, from the world's death related to disease, most of them are related to poor drinking water quality. So it's very clear that a water crisis is looming. It's been said that we're going to run out of water before we run out of oil. So we have all this talk about our oil resources running low. It's been said we're going to run out of water before even oil. And because we're running out of water, we're also going to be running out of food. Our crops, all that, are tied up with our water use. So if a water crisis is also a hunger crisis. They go hand in hand. So what does it all mean? Why am I telling you this, or what is all this information relevant to? Well, the fact of the matter is, we live in a thirsty world. The industry is so thirsty for our technologies, our manufacturing requires so much water. On top of that, agriculture is very thirsty. And on top of it all, we are thirsty. If we don't get the water, we're not going to live. So we have to balance our water uses amongst these three. And what can you do about that? Well, it's time for everybody to give water a second thought. Think about how we use it in our lives daily. And also, how can we improve our own water usage in our communities, etc. So the message, the take-home message I'd like to offer you is that I suggest that you use less, first of all, save more, and finally, advocate water issues. Spread the word. That's the best way that we can get more and more people aware of this issue. So that's about it. I'd like to thank the preparers of this presentation. These slides were prepared by Jeff Brennan from Apollo Ideas. This is the Thirst presentation. It's an award-winning presentation. So I took the opportunity to present their material in my words. Okay, that's it.
Can you turn the lights on? I can't see the that little buttons. Perfect. Stop.